Chapter 2. My mother's death and the mystic amulet. My mother's greatest desire was the marriage of my elder brother. Ah, when I behold the face of Ananta's wife, I shall find heaven on this earth. I frequently heard mother express in these words her strong Indian sentiment for family continuity. I was about 11 years old at that time of Ananta's betrothal. Mother was in Calcutta joyously supervising the wedding preparations. Father and I alone remained at home in Bareilly in northern India, where father had been transferred after 2 years at Lahore. I had previously witnessed the splendor of nuptial rites for my two elder sisters, Roma and Uma, but for Ananta, as the eldest son, plans were truly elaborate. Mother's was welcoming numerous relatives daily arriving in Kolkata from distant homes. She lodged them comfortably in a large newly acquired house at 50 Amherst Street. Everything was in a readiness. The banquet delicacies, the gay throne on which brother was to be carried to the home from of the bride to be, the rows of colorful lights, the mammoth cardboard elephants and camels, the English, the Scottish, and the Indian orchestras, the professional entertainers, the priest for the ancient rituals. Father and I, in gala spirits, were planning to join the family in time for the ceremony. Shortly before the great day, however, I had an omnivorous vision. I was in Bareilly on a midnight, and as I slept beside father on the piazza of our bungalow, I was awakened by a peculiar flutter of the mosquito netting over the bed. The flimsy curtains parted, and I saw the beloved form of my mother. Awaken your father, her voice was only a whisper. Take the first available train at 4 o'clock this morning. Rush to Calcutta if you would see me. The wrecked like figure vanquished. Father, father, mother is dying. The terror in my tone aroused him instantly. I sobbed out the fatal tidings. Never mind the hallucination of yours. Father gave his characteristic negation to a new situation. Your mother is in excellent health. If we get any bad news, we shall live tomorrow. You shall never forgive yourself for starting now. Anguish caused me to add bitterly, nor shall I ever forgive you. The melancholy morning came with the explicit word, Mother dangerously ill, marriage postponed, come at once. Father and I left distractedly. One of my uncles met us en route at the transfer point. A train thundered toward us, looming with a telescopic increase. From my inner tumult and abrupt determination arose to my hurl myself on the railway tracks. Already bereft, I felt of my mother. I could not endure a word suddenly bare to the bone. I love mother as my dearest friend on the earth. Her solacing black eyes had been my refuge in trifling tragedies of childhood. Does she yet live? I stopped for one last question to my uncle. He was not slow to interpret the desperation in my face. Of course she is alive, but I scarcely believed him. When we reached our Kolkata home, it was only confront the stunning mystery of death. I collapsed into an almost lifeless state. Years passed before any reconciliation entered my heart. Storming the various gates of heaven, my cries at last summoned the Divine Mother. Her words brought final healing to my suppurating wounds. It is I who have watched over thee life after life in the tenderness of many mothers. See in my gaze the two black eyes, the lost beautiful eyes thou seekest. Father and I returned to Bareilly soon after the crematory rites for the well beloved. Early every morning, I made a pathetic memorial pilgrimage to a large surely tree which shaded the smooth green gold lawn before our bungalow. In poetical moments, I thought that white surely flowers were strewing themselves with the willing devotion over the grassy altar. Mingling tears with the dew, I often observed strange other worldly light emerging from the dawn. Intense pangs of longing for good God assailed me. I felt powerfully drawn to the Himalayas. One of my cousins, fresh from a period of a travel in the holy hills, visited us in Bareilly. I listened eagerly to his tales about the high mountain abode of yogis and swamis. Let us run away to the Himalayas. My suggestion one day to the Dwarika Prasad, the younger son of our landlord in Bareilly, fell on unsympathetic ears. He revealed my plan to my elder brother, who had just arrived to see father. Instead of laughing lightly over this impractical scheme of a small boy, Ananta made it definite point to ridicule me. Where is your orange robe? You can't be a Swami without that. But I was inexplicably thrilled by his words. They brought me a clear picture that of myself a monk roaming about India, Perhaps they awakened memories of past life. In any case, I realized with that what natural is I would wear the garb of anciently founded monastic order. Chatting one morning with Dwarka, I felt love for God descending with avalanche force, avalanche like force. My companion was only partly attentive to ensuing eloquence, but I was wholeheartedly listening to myself. I fled that afternoon toward Nainital in the Himalayan foothills. Anant gave determined chase. I was forced to return sadly to Bareilly. The only pilgrimage permitted me was the customary one at dawn to Shioli tree. My heart wept for my lost two mothers, one human, one divine. The rent left in the family fabric, my mother's death, was irreparable. Father never remarried during his nearly 40 remaining years. Assuming the difficult role of father mother to his little flock, he grew noticeably more tender, more approachable. With calmness and insight, he solved the various family problems. After office hours, he retired like a hermit to the cell of his room, practicing Kriya Yoga in a sweet serenity. Long after mother's death, I attempted to engage an English nurse to attend to details that would make my parents' life more comfortable, but father shook his head. Service to me ended with your mother. His eyes were remote with a lifelong devotion. I will not accept ministrations from any other woman's. 14 months after my mother's passing, I learned that she had left me a momentous message. Ananta had been present at her deathbed and had recorded her words, though she had asked that disclosure be made to me in 1 year. My brother had delayed. He was soon to leave Bareilly for Calcutta to marry the girl that mother had chosen for him. One evening he summoned to me his side. Mukunda, I have been reluctant to you strange tidings. Ananda's tone held on a note of resignation. My fear was to inflame your desire to leave home, but but in any case, you are bristling with divine ardor. When I captured you recently on your way to Himalayas, I came to a definite resolve. I must not further postpone the fulfillment of my solemn promise. My brother handed me a small box and delivered mother's message. Let these words be my final blessing and my beloved son Mukunanda. Mother had said. The hour is here when I must relate a number of phenomenal events following your birth. I first knew your destined path when you were but a babe in my arms. I carried you then to the home of my guru in Banaras, almost hidden behind in the throng of disciples. I could barely see Lahari Mahasya as he sat in deep meditation. When I petted you, I was praying that the great Guru take notice and bestow a blessing. As my silent devotional demand grew in intensity, he opened his eyes and beckoned me to approach. The others made a way for me. I bowed at the sacred feet. Lahari Mahasya seated you in his on his lap, placing his hand on your forehead by way of spiritually baptizing you. Little mother, the son will be a yogi. As a spiritual angel, he will carry many souls to God's kingdom. My heart leaped with a joy to find my secret prayer granted to my by the omniscient Guru. Shortly before your birth, he had told me you would follow his path. Later, my son, your vision of great light was known to me and your sister Roma, as from the next room where we observed you motionless on the bed. Your little face was illuminated, your voice rang with the iron resolve as spoke of going to the Himalayas in quest of the divine. In these ways, dear son, I came to know that your road lies far from the worldly ambitions. The most singular event in my life brought further confirmation, an event which now impels my deathbed message. I was it was an interview with the sage in the Punjab while our family was living in Lahore. One morning, the servant came into my room. Mistress, a strange sadhu is here. He insists that he see the mother of Mukunanda. Those simple words struck a profound chord within me. I went at once to greet the visitor. Bowing at his feet, I sensed that before me was true man of God. Mother, he said, the great masters wish you to know that your stay on earth shall not be long. Your next illness shall prove to be your last. There was a silence during which I felt no alarm but only a vibration of great peace. Finally, he addressed me again. You are able to custodian of a certain silver amulet. I will not give it you today to demonstrate the truth In my words, the talisman shall materialize in your hands tomorrow as you meditate. On your deathbed, you must instruct your eldest son Ananta to keep the amulet for 1 year and then to hand it over to your second son. Mukunanda will understand the meaning of talisman from the great ones. He should receive it about the time he is all ready to renounce all worldly hopes and to start a vital search for God. When he has retained the amulet for some years, and when it has served its purpose, it shall vanquish. Even if it kept in the most secret spot, I shall return whence it came. I proffered almost to the saint and bowed before him in great reverence. Not taking the offering, he departed with a blessing. The next evening, as I sat with the folded hands in meditation, a silver amulet materialized between my palms, even as my sadhu had promised. It made itself known, a cold, smooth touch. I have jealously guarded it for more than 2 years and now leave it Ananta's keeping. Do not grieve for me, as I shall have been urged by my great Guru into the arms of in the infinite. Farewell, my child, the cosmic mother will protect you. A blaze of illumination came over me with the possession of the amulet. Many dormant memories awakened. The talisman, round and anciently quaint, was covered with the Sanskrit characters. I understand that it come from the teachers of past lives who were invisibly guiding my steps. A further significance there was indeed, but one may not fully unveil the hurt of an amulet. How the talisman finally vanquished amidst deeply unhappy circumstances of my life, and how its loss was half was herald of my gain of a guru may not be told in this chapter, but small boy thwarted in his attempt to reach the Himalayas daily traveled far on the wings of the amulet.